The Washington Wizards get smoked like a hookah tonight, 131-92 in Brooklyn. So we're going to recap that game. And should we be concerned about Kyle Kuzma, or will he be all right? Let's talk about it, y'all, next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again, and I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use promo code Locked On NBA for $20 off your first purchase. All right, everybody, tonight the Washington Wizards get smoked like a hookah tonight, 131-92 in Brooklyn. Man, what was the main reason why we lost this game? Easy. We're going to get into that, recap this game, look at the team overall and individually. And should we be concerned about Kyle Kuzma at this point? And will his trade value go up or down? You know, what are the expectations right now? Because he has been struggling so far in the preseason. So we're going to talk about that and more and get into comments. All right, everybody, let's get into it. The Washington Wizards get humbled in NYC, man, 131-92. Now, what was the big reason why such a lopsided loss? Easy, man. Ball security, turnovers. Again, in this year's preseason, we've seen a game where the Wizards have committed 30 turnovers. Tonight, they were not too far away. Tonight, they had 19 turnovers compared to the Brooklyn Nets 7. Now, I mean, if you look at other stats, you could argue that, yes, field goal percentage, ours was 40 compared to their 53, so they definitely hit a lot more high percentage shots and hit a lot more open looks. I mean, they just were rolling, man. 3-point wise, we shot 7 for 36 from the 3-point line, man. So that is 19.4% compared to their 36.1%. Now, if you look at free throws, good Lord, have mercy, man. Oh, we shot 65. They shot 66. Both teams had issues trying at the charity strike, so they weren't just us. But I mean, rebounding, we were even. We actually had more offensive rebounds. They got us an assist, 27-18. So looking at the stats, man, I mean, another stat to really look at team-wise, a couple of really big stats. One thing, their biggest lead was 43 points. So, woo! But if you look at points off turnovers, 35 points off 19 turnovers. The turnovers killed us, man. They killed us. And we have to get better with turnovers. Stop playing sloppy. Communicate. We need leadership, man. We're going to get into that in a second, man, because right now, leadership has not emerged on the court. Let's see. Fast break points, 26 to our 7. So they pushed the pace. We could not capitalize on it. They capitalized on the pace, and we didn't. So, like I said, tonight, from a team perspective, turnovers got us. Again, turnovers, sloppy basketball. And, yes, it is a young team. You're going to have issues with turnovers with a young team, building that chemistry. But still, man, if you hold true to a standard, if you hold true to culture, playing the right way, playing to win, you know that just like in basketball, just like in any other sport, turnovers kill you. You are not going to win any game committing 19 turnovers. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win many games in this league, if any. And they have to get better in that realm, man. They have to get better with turnovers because right now they're struggling. So let's get into the starting five. Tonight was a different starting five. We had some people out. Obviously, Bilal was out. Alex Sarr was out. And Jonathan Valanciunas got a Veterans Day of rest. It is preseason. We know that, the elder statesman needs his rest. So, like I said, not a concern. But looking at the starting five, we'll start with JP13. And again, not a bad game, but not at the level that we expect the guy who wants to be the future, and a lot of people expect to be the future point guard and be maybe a face of the franchise to a certain degree. 13 points in 23 minutes played, 3 rebounds, but 1 assist. Now, there were 2 to 3 passes that he actually really set people up, and people just weren't ready for the pass. So I'm going to give him a little bit of slack on the assist numbers, but look at the shooting numbers, not bad. I mean, 5 for 11 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, 2 for 2 for the charity strike, and 1 steal. But you definitely want to see him. You want to see more. You know what I'm saying? There was just high expectations, especially for myself. A lot of people on Jordan Poole, him really putting his mark, not only what he can do in the league, but what his role here is here in DC long term. So like I said, you definitely want to see him step up, man, because with the price tag, he's got to step it up, man, in my opinion. Like I said, not bad, but you definitely expect more. All right, Bob Carrington. Now, this could potentially be the long-term backcourt. We shall see. Ball is in their court, pun intended. But Bub Carrington did play the 2 guard tonight. 25 minutes played, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, shooting 3 for 8 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. Had a really nice pull-up 3, man, in the first half. 3 turnovers. Look, he's a young player. He's going to work through it, so I'm not concerned at this point. Corey Kispert, 25 minutes tonight. He did start at the small forward position. 9 points, won his best night. He definitely struggled with his shot, especially for 3-point range. He shot 2 for 8 from 3, missed 1 free throw. It was 3 for 10 overall from the field, 9 points. Did get a block, but not his best showing. But I think he will be all right because overall, Corey Kispert has played really well in the preseason. So not tripping on that. Kyle Kuzma. Last game he did provide 22 points, but overall he has struggled in the preseason. Like I said, we're going to talk about should we be concerned about him, and looking at the asking price, we're going to really dive deep and ask questions about the trade value and what does the future hold for Kyle Kuzma in DC, man? Because I think we're going to have to a certain degree get brutally honest. Yes, it's a preseason, but like I said, we'll get there, man. But tonight, a really bad showing. 24 minutes tonight, 7 points, 6 rebounds, so he did get active in getting some boards in the paint, but 3 from 12 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. It wasn't like the last game where he had some really good looks and he just didn't drop. I felt like he really, really did. He had some good looks tonight, but there was times where he forced his shot and became, again, too reliant on that jump shot. Drive, man, drive. Get to the paint and get those fouls and collapse his defense, man, and set these guys up. You got to, when you got shooters like Bub Carrington and Kispert on the outside, man, and even if you really want to push the point, a 3-level scorer, Marvin Bagley, you've got to set people up, man. We've got to see more. 4 assists, not bad, but still. He is the number 1 option. We've got to see more from Kyle Kuzma because, look, these young men in the starting 5, potential starting 5, and Alex Hart and Bilal Coulibaly are not ready to shoulder that load offensively. We need Kyle Kuzma to be that number 1 option and Jordan Poole to really emerge as that 1 alpha. Especially, he's a point guard. You definitely want to see a lot more assists, more being more of a floor general as opposed to a scoring-minded combo guard. But, they've got to step it up. On the 1-2 punch, being those top 2 scoring options brings responsibility, and we need them to step it up. All right, so looking at Marvin Bagley III, he did start tonight for Jonas Valanciunas, or, the last time it was Alex Sarr. But, Marvin Bagley III has shown that when he is motivated, when the confidence is high, he can be productive. 23 minutes tonight, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, but he shot 3 for 5, 1 for 1 for 3. So he shows that he can be that 3-level scorer. He can definitely stretch the floor. 3 for 4 for the charity strike and 1 turnover. So not bad. He definitely had a pretty good game. And, like I said, he definitely has his moments here in DC. And he's a guy who definitely, it's been known that he is questioning whether he has a future here in DC. Now, it is an expiring contract. That's something we're going to definitely look at towards the deadline. He's expiring contract, so he very well could be on his way out if his value gets high enough or be added to a trade. But looking at his age, man, he could be a keeper to see what he can do. Like I said, I'm definitely intrigued to see what Brian Keefe can do with Marvin Bagley III and really see if he can resurrect his career here in DC or build his value and be moved elsewhere at the deadline, man. But look, I've been a fan of him since Duke. I think that, again, when he's confident, when you see that motor, a high motor out of him, because, a low motor has been the biggest knock against him, he's a productive player. All right, so let's get into the bench unit. It's very sporadic with minutes tonight, but we're gonna go by. Let's see, they're not even showing the minutes for the bench. That is unfortunate. All right, so look at some people on the second unit. Jared Butler stepped it up tonight. 10 points, 8 assists, 5 for 8 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. Had 3 turnovers, but we ain't tripping, are we? He continues to show why we have great depth at point guard. Bub Carrington, Jordan Poole, Malcolm Brogdon when he comes back from injury. Jared Butler shows that he definitely, if you look at the small sample size preseason this season and what he provided last season, he definitely has earned a roster spot, in my opinion, because depth can be a beautiful thing till it's not. Some other players look at Rashawn Holmes, again, being that beast in the paint. 10 points tonight, 5 boards, 4 for 5, caught an alley-oop or 2. Free throws, 2 for 4, but obviously he is not Stephen Curry when it comes to free throws, so willing to give him a break, but, you definitely want to hit those. But Rashawn Holmes, yes, to certain degrees, offensively, he's very limited, but he's shown to be a dog getting those boards, being very active in the paint, man, and being that veteran guy, man. So I definitely think he is an asset here in DC with these young bigs we're trying to develop. Some other guys look at Champagne, 6 points, 5 boards. Vucevic, very limited action, but he did get 4 points, 1 for 3 from the field, 2 for 2 from the charity strike. Johnny Davis. I will say this. Since we came out with the last video, since the report came out about them tinkering with the shot, his shot does look good. He does have, his shot does, looks a lot better, man. It really does. But he's got to perform. Tonight, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. The 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. But I'll say this, man. His defense is the name of his game. He is a really in-your-face, high-energy defender. So I think that, like I said, give him a year under head coach Brian Keefe and see if they can resurrect his career. All right, so we're going to dive deep in a few other guys on the second unit, and then we're going to get into the question of should we be concerned about Kyle Kuzma hitting into the regular season. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Gametime. So you guys know I'm addicted to going to games, man. Right now, baseball season's wrapping up. So, but I'm going to Camden Yards, Nats Park, with football, going to Northwest Stadium, about to head over here to Scott Stadium over here at UVA, watch them play the Tar Heels. So I go to games all the time. And I've gone through every ticketing app, and I'm not going to name drop nobody, but to me, Gametime is the best compared to the competitors. And there's 3 reasons why, y'all know. Well, number 1, Gametime picks. Creation makes it easy to save more on sports tickets, but not only sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater events, etc. The sky's the limits. All in pricing. Talking List feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. So $50 tickets don't end up being $80 tickets, man. You get what you pay for. What else? Seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy so you know what your view is and if you get your money's worth. So again, do yourself a favor. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime picks. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. LOCKEDONNBA. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime, baby. All right, everybody, let's get back into this. So let's round out the rest of the second unit, some notable players in the second unit. And really, the question tonight is going to be, should we be concerned about Kyle Kuzma? Really, really underwhelming preseason. And obviously, looking at potential fit here long-term and trade value. The asking price is 2 first rounders. Is that too steep? Do you expect him to pick it up? We're going to talk about it next, man. But let's finish up looking at the individual stats. Again, going back on Johnny Davis, man, you definitely want to see what he can do under a full year under Brian Keefe. But look, he's got to perform. He's got to perform. Keyshawn George, very, very underwhelming game. 4 points, 2 for 6 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. But overall, he's played well in preseason, man. So it's not a cause for concern. You're going to see a lot of growing pains with these young guys, man. But Chris Miller tonight kind of made a comment calling the core 4, looking at Bilal, Bub, Keyshawn, and Alex R. I love that term, the core 4. Like I said, it's going to be a roller coaster event, especially for the 3 first rounders of this year's draft, man. It's going to be a roller coaster. So definitely put your seatbelt on and definitely enjoy the ride, man, because, you're going to see games where they're going to show out. There's some games where they're going to struggle. That's, these guys are all under 20 or below. So there's a lot of growing that needs to be done, a lot of development, man. But you see the potential with all 3 of these guys. If you look at the core 4, especially Bilal, I mean, all 4 of these guys have high level potential. And I really think there's potential with Tristan Vucevic, too. I think that, especially when you see a lot of these dominoes start to fall, give him some minutes to see what he can do. All right, so let's see. Patrick Baldwin Jr., 7 points tonight, 1 for 3 from 3, 3 for 5 from the field, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. And we saw Taylor Funk. Funk was rolling tonight in BK, man. Taylor Funk did sign an Exhibit 10 contract, so we saw him tonight, no points, but he was, man, he can move a little bit. I was a big fan of him in Summer League, man. So let's see what else we covered. Everybody, Champagne, 6 points, 5 boards, so he had his moments. 2 blocks for him. So overall, we just turnovers killed us, man. We've got to get better in turnovers. Turnovers has been an issue for us with previous teams, dating back to Bradley Beal when he was still in the Wizards uniform. And look, there is a standard. Brian Keefe has a standard. There is a culture. There is, we got to hold to that standard. Yes, we're going to have growing pains. Yes, there's going to be a roller coaster. But turnovers, 19 we can't have that. 30 in previous game of the preseason. Those numbers scream that there's a lack of leadership. There's lack of accountability right now. We've got to get better. And I'm not going to say he's coaching because I know that Brian Keefe does hold these guys to a standard. They do, solidifying the culture of playing to win, playing hard. He's definitely solidifying here. But is easier said than done when you have a very young team who's early on in the rebuild. So, like I said, turnovers killed this team tonight. Turnovers was the sole factor that sunk this team, and we got smoked like a hookah tonight. But it's all good, man, because we have the preseason finale on Friday, man. Then look, right around the corner next week, man, is the regular season. I'm definitely looking forward to it and get this party started right, man. So, all right, Kyle Kuzma. Should we be concerned about Kyle Kuzma? Right now, he has not looked good in preseason. And the fact that you're looking at two things. Number one, look, really two factors. There's really two camps that I see. And it is usually the case with the Wizards fan base or Wizards Twitter, where you either are for or against something. There's not a lot of unity. There's always a split. But when you look at Kyle Kuzma, you have those. And I think that the majority do look at him as a trade piece. And there's a minority that thinks that, he'll be here for his 3-year contract. And yes, he solidified himself. He's opened up businesses. He likes being here. He's well liked to a certain degree by the fan base, even though a lot of people is like, man. But, to me, if you look at him being a trade chip, which a lot of NBA and sports outlets, most of them, the majority are saying that he's a trade piece in February when it comes to the trade deadline. So, the question tonight is, number one, it's a 2-part question for y'all, man. And then we're going to get into the comments. Number one, should we be concerned? And number two, is 2 first-rounders a little steep to be asking for Kyle Kuzma? Because right now, can he step up and be that number one option? Because right now, he does not look motivated. And he just doesn't. Look like he gained a little weight too, but I'm not saying that he's out of shape. I'm not gonna put that on him, man. And, definitely, he's been very vocal and been very active in workouts in the offseason. But like I said, man, motivation is low. So you guys let me know what you guys are thinking. So let's get into the comments, man, like we always do. All right, let's start off with comment number 1 tonight. Bullet Station, what's going on? And they said, did I miss something? Because why has Kuzma looked so uninterested and mad? Also, saw a legit stat where he has 5 air balls in the 2 last games. Wild indeed. He looks uninterested. I'll say that. And you never know. You never really know what's going on. Obviously, there's things could be happening off the court. There's a lot of things going on in the country now. I can't imagine the economy's too bad. Compared to a lot of us, but like I said, we don't know truly what's going on. But I don't know why he's mad. You advocated to be here. You vetoed the trade out of here. You know what it is. This is a rebuilding team. You made it known that you want to be part of this. You want to be vocal, be a leader here. You set up business in the DMV, businesses in Virginia. But you get to a point where you got to be honest about where we're at and what your role is here. And I've been vocal about this. I like Kuz. I like the fact that he's become a complete player here in DC. But here's the thing, man. You need to understand what your role is here and what can you do? What can you change to help, really reach that goal, which is developing this young talent. Him getting a scoring title is not our goal here. Our goal here is getting Bub Carrington developed and ready to contribute for a championship team. Bilal in his development. His development. Tristan Vucevic, his development. Keyshawn George, his development. You got to use your game. You got to change your game to set these guys up. And, we know what his flaws are. No, he's a consistent, well, not really this preseason, but last year, really his time in DC, he's been a consistent source of 20-plus points a night. He's that number one scoring option. But, there's a thin line between being aggressive and being very inefficient. And he's been very inefficient and very reliant on that jump shot at his best. When he uses his size to attack the rim, collapse defenses, set people up, you see what his worth is. You know what I mean? And here in DC, but he's got to stop being so reliant on that jumper, man. And he's got to find ways to, like I said, I agree with you, uninterested, but mad. I don't know why he'd be mad. This is what you wanted. You had a trade to Dallas, and apparently they weren't good enough, man. So, like I said, fan of Kuz, man, but I think that he has to be honest about what his long-term place is here in DC, because sooner or later it's going to be a youth movement, and you're going to have the next best thing, a small forward or power forward, and you have to start developing that guy, man. Like I said, is that Keyshawn George? We'll see what the long-term option is at the 3 and the 4. Where do they put Alex our long-term? A lot of questions, especially hitting into next year's draft. So, like I said, he's got to step it up, in my opinion. Desan says, Brandon, I saw a question on Twitter about Johnny and PBJ competition for the last roster spot. And majority are saying PBJ is outplaying Johnny. Who do you think wins the last spot? If it's between those two, I'm gonna give it to Patrick Baldwin Jr. But I am an advocate that says that, look, there's a way to see if you can recoup Johnny Davis under a full year of Brian Keith. You do that, because I definitely want to see a full year of development with PBJ and Johnny Davis under head coach Brian Keith. So if there's an option, we keep both of them. I'm actually in the camp of saying, let's see if we can develop these guys and give them that year under Brian Keith. And if they don't pan out, then look, you have that option to go another direction. But It's all about development. You better believe that, and I'm definitely in the camp of a lot of these veterans being moved at the deadline. Like I said, the jury's still out on Sadiq Bey. He's come back from injury, so he's probably going to play a quarter of the season, if anything at all. Jordan Poole right now, the ball's in his court. If you want to be here long term, we got to see what you can do at point guard long term, man. Because like I said, these next 2 drafts coming up, man, there are point guards and 2 guards who can complement Bob Carrington if he's that guy. Or, like I said, there's a lot of capabilities with this front office going forward, man. So some of these guys who are kind of border guys, like when I say border or gray area guys, where not quite in their in their prime yet, but they're still young enough to be part of the future. But you want to see what they can do, and they got to step it up, because right now, look, there's no excuses. They gave him the job to Jordan Poole. He's got to perform, man. So I'm definitely looking for him and Kyle Kuzma to step it up. Even though Jordan Poole has had a better preseason, man, but then Kyle Kuzma. But like I said, a lot of expectations to both of those guys, man. A lot of expectations. So if it's between Johnny Davis and PBJ, I would say that Johnny Davis will be on his way out because of his draft position. I believe that PBJ, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, he was a late first-round pick, if not a borderline second-round pick. So, like I said, Johnny Davis was 10th overall. So, the sign also says, am I rooting for Johnny? But he's looked bad since the first preseason game. Can't hit a shot, misses easy free throws, and bad fouls. Yeah, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't mind seeing if Brian Keefe can develop him with a full year. But like I said, he's got to perform. He's got to perform. So, all right, everybody, we're going to get into more comments. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live, play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You can start with $200 and bonus bets, guaranteed. And you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. And thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen today. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know that. For your second listen, find Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Become a fantasy basketball expert and get the edge of your league mates with daily tips from Josh Lloyd. Find Locked On Fantasy Basketball on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. All right, everybody, let's get back into this thing. All right, so let's get in the comments. Man, we got a lot of them. I'm motivated tonight. So you guys know me, man. I'm trying to get through all of them. So let's get into it. Bulls Nation says, also, I would say Johnny is giving Pat Ball on the job. I agree. I understand West broke his shot by changing it, but can't blame West for missing free throws and airball layups every game. I agree 100%. He's got to perform. Yes, you can throw some blame to certain, with tinkering the shot, switching his position, but when called upon, you have to perform. And I use that analogy all the time of a pinch hitter. Yeah, you sit on the bench from about 7 innings, if not 8 innings of the game, but when called upon, you've got to get that key hit, man. I mean, it is what it is. You got to stay ready, right? You got to stay ready. Next man up mentality. All right, Lawrence Lyles, what's up? How you doing, man? Says, question for you, Brendan. Are you done with Poole and Kuz experiment? I've lost all faith in Kuz because he obviously doesn't care or want to be here, but I'm trying to keep faith in Poole. You guys know me. I'm gonna be very honest and transparent, man. When it comes to Kuz, I know what he can do. I like his play style. I like him as a player, but what is his long-term fit here long-term? Because look, man, the biggest thing is developing of young talent. That's my priority. That's the front office priority. That is priority number 1, 2, and 3. All I care about is developing this young talent. Now, I look at Kyle Kuzma like this. He could be that number 1 scoring option to take the responsibility off of Bilal, Alex Sarr, while they progress offensively. They don't have that pressure on them yet because the pressure is going to be on them soon. This team's going to get younger. Look, man, it's straight from the horse's mouth. This is straight from me talking to Will Talkers. This team is going to get younger soon. So, like I said, Kuz, 2 first-round picks. I mean, he's got to step it up. I mean, and I don't, being uninterested in, and not want to be here. I haven't seen reports that he doesn't want to be here, but it'll be very conflicting because, the fact that he's put so much into, as a small business owner in the D.C. area, in Commonwealth of Virginia, and other factors. It's like you either want to be here or not. I mean, I need, you either want to be, and because you want to be here, you got to be that leader, man. You have to be that leader. You have to be that scoring option. You have to be that guy. So, and look at Jordan Poole. I'm willing to give him a chance to prove that he could be that long-term fit at point guard. I think he has all-star potential. But here's the thing: a lot of people have potential. There's a lot of people in prison who have potential. Not that I compare prison to Jordan Poole, but you guys kind of see the correlation here. Like, potential is a beautiful thing, but is whether you put the work in and the consistency to reach that potential. There's been thousands of people who have potential to be the next great thing. You guys think about it like this, man. How many people never made it who are better than Jordan, man? I mean, seeing Len Bias was one guy where, unfortunately his life ended early, who was one guy that people thought, there's for every MJ, for every Kobe, for every LeBron, man, there's 1,000 people who had the potential, didn't make it. So like I said, you see the potential with Poole, but you want to see a level of consistency that proves that he could be that guy going forward. So that's kind of where I'm at. Kyle Kuzma, I'm in the camp of moving him at some point and give value, man, because you have to get younger at some point. Yes, you want to put these guys and you want to progress them and give them minutes slowly, but at a certain point, it's a youth movement, and you give these guys more responsibility. And at that point, when you make it a younger team, a younger lineup, they build that chemistry by playing with each other, by learning together, by struggling together. It's all about a journey. That's how you build that chemistry. So definitely appreciate the question. He also said that I've noticed from last year, and even now, Jordan Poole is 41 good games, 41 bad games a year type of player. His lows are low and his highs are high. So talented, but hard to watch at the same time. I agree 100%. And it kind of just echoes what I just said. He's got to find a consistency. That's what makes an all-star, is consistency. Every player or most players in the league are high and low players. You have your high moments, your low moments. What really is that difference is consistency. All-star players are day in, day out, every night on the court. They're giving the best, man. There is no off nights. And I don't know how many guys, pretty much all you guys have watched The Last Dance. And then talk about Michael Jordan's that. Talk about he had no off nights. He played like somebody who was in the crowd had never watched him play basketball before. And that kind of mentality, you saw it with Kobe, you see it with LeBron to a certain degree, but we're losing that Mamba mentality, that killer mentality as far as being a dog offensively. In the NBA, you see certain players, Anthony Edwards has that dog factor and other players. But as far as the Wizards, the number one option has to have that killer mentality when it comes to scoring and use that scoring ability to set other people up, because we have, look, Bilal, man, we were expecting a lot year two. Money Man Mahogany, what's going on with you? It's bad when Rashawn Holmes is your best player tonight. Yeah, you ain't lying. Bad games by Kuzma, Poole, Corey, Keyshawn, and Johnny. Kuzma's done Washington, by the way. It's obvious. Yeah, and a lot of you guys kind of see the same thing that I see, the uninterest. And it just boggles your mind, because you advocated to be here. You had a way out of here. And, and that's what I'm saying. I do get why certain people are skeptical, because you get tired of lip service. You get tired of, telling me what I want to hear, but not giving me what I want to see type deal. And I agree with you guys. That's the one part that bugs me. Yes, I'm a big fan of his front office. I'm a big fan of Michael Winger and Will Dogs, and I think they're definitely heading in the right direction. I'm a huge fan of Brian Keefe and what his resume speaks for and what he's doing with his organization. And there's players on this team that I definitely think are part of that core team for the next championship team here in DC. But here's the thing. Look, I definitely think that Will Dawkins needs to go ahead and be very active at the deadline. Enough's enough, man. Like, you can't be, when everything's going all right, you can't be, ooh, ah. And then when the things are going bad, sitting there sulking. We saw that with Bradley Beal. That's the big reason why people had an issue with Brad, and is because, yes, it was the front office, Tommy Shepard, deciding him to that stupid contract, but it was also the body language, man. You wanted to be here. You're a leader. You're the number one option. You can't be sulking, man. You need to be out there ready to, regardless. You need to be that vocal guy. You need to be that voice. That's leadership. Even when you're struggling, you need to be that guy first. And Anthony Gill. See, that's why Anthony Gill is such a under-the-radar leader, because he's the first guy out on the floor in timeouts. So that's what I'm looking for from leadership. And I'm definitely looking for leadership from Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, man. But an opposite says Wizards had to resolve these turnover issues. They're going to continue to cost us games. Amen. The turnovers are an issue. Kevin Colbert, Colbert or Colbert, you let me know which one. Says the reason why they moved Jordan Poole from shooting guard to point guard is because he's supposed to be familiar with the position. He has looked terrible in the last 3 games. Yeah, I agree with you. His best fit is point guard as opposed to 2 guard, even though he can't play 2 guard, but he's got to show what he can do. Because yes, I could see him being a future piece, but I could also see him, with his contract situation, especially looking long term. Especially, if we are better sooner, if they want to get that contract out of the books, and if he brings that trade value up, I can see him being moved too. So, like I said, I like JP13. I like him. I like him as a young man. I like him as a player. But here's the thing: you've got to, right now, you've got the job. You've got to put your stamp on it. You got to show the league what you can do. You can show DC what you can do. Show the fan base, show the organization. Show us that you can be that guy. Off the court, he has. On the court, we need more. Let's see. Bucket Getter says, Kuz got to go. I'll tell you, he ain't been looking good, man. Bucket Getter also says, am I the only one who thinks they officiated for Brooklyn? Man, when in Brooklyn, that's the thing, man. That the home field advantage, man, in the NBA. Bucket Getter also said, I do like Bub and JP together. Yeah, they were not a bad backcourt for sure, especially with Bub's ability to catch and shoot and really get that shot. He's got a nice, fast, crisp release, man. Love it. All right, Design says, do we win more than 10 games this year? How do you lose by 40 to the Nets? Yeah, man, because the Nets is that team where they're kind of up there with a potential number 1 overall team. Like, Nets are not going to be very good. So, you lose 40 to the Nets, a team that is in the same tier as a potential number 1 overall team. Turnovers, man. But I'll say this, man. We were out Blau. We didn't have Alex Sarr. We didn't have Jonas Valanciunas. So I think that was one factor. If we had those guys, I think it would have been a closer game. Let's see. Stuart Flaherty says Kuzma's just going through the motions for preseason. Yeah, but I got a problem with that because I say it all the time. I mentioned this from my time in the United States Army, and for all you vets out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. You train as you fight. You fight as you train. Yeah, and so preseason is where you ramp it up. You get your body ready for the regular season. I don't like the notion of I'm gonna lag through preseason and then I'm just gonna find some fire in the regular season. That's a poor excuse. I'm not saying from you. I'm just saying overall for players, man. Is that I don't buy that from Kyle Kuzma. Right now is the time to get yourself ready for the regular season. Show what you can do. I never understood that notion with some players, man. But I agree with you, man. It just it definitely looks like that to a certain degree. Dean Pomeroy, what's up? How you doing tonight? It says Kuzma sold a crazy ankle breaker. Yeah, you ain't lying on that. Sees the FBA Journal. How you doing tonight? No, the concern is there's no respected veteran on this team. Bring John Wall back to DC. Look, brother, I love me some John Wall. He's my favorite Wizards player of all time, but I think the ship has sailed. But I will say this. I think that sooner or later you bring him back in some capacity. Now, as a player, I don't see that happening, man. But I can see him coming back in some capacity. If you look at the fact, how the exit was with Gilbert Arenas, and then you look at not last year, but the year before, where they honored the big three with him, Caron Butler, Antoine Jameson, and brought him back to a certain degree in the fold. I definitely think you bring John Wall back. He's still much love here in DC, and I would love to see him involved with the team in some capacity. But right now, as a player, I don't see it happening, man. I love John Wall too, man, but I don't see it happening. Ain't no half stepping. Love it. 30 plus L's to the Nets and Raptors. Yeah. I know, brother. I know. I also say individual stats never tells about the non-competitiveness of the team. Yeah, you see competitiveness with some of these young guys. Jared Butler's playing. He's playing hard. He's playing for a spot. And that's what you love to see from a guy like Jared Butler, because he echoes a guy like Jordan Goodwin. If you guys remember him. These gutsy guys that come from the G League, man, who really play with heart, man. They earn those jobs. Jared Butler is the guy who definitely shows leadership with his play. He plays hard, man. Fred Fazell, what's up, man? How you doing? Kuzma to the Lakers for 2 tickets to Disneyland. Hey, man. I mean, right now there's some traction. I mean, that's almost a little. There's been little reports here and there about a potential reunion with Kyle Kuzma to the Lakers, but actually tomorrow I'm going to cover this, and tomorrow we have special guest Abdullah, man. My guy Abdullah is going to join the show, man. We're going to talk about Jonas Valanciunas. And there's reports that he could be on his way to LA a lot sooner than later, man. But we'll see. Maybe 2 half smokes, maybe a go-go tape. We'll see, man. Link says Ace Bailey and Cooper Flag, get ready. Laugh out loud. Absolutely. One of them will be in the Wizards uniform, man. Definitely can see that. Should Biz 1. B Scott, please tell me what happened in the second half. I don't know. I mean, the turnover, they got sloppy. I mean, it's just they didn't show they cared. And you don't want to be critical to coaching, man, right now, because I am a big fan of Brian Keefe. And, this was the biggest thing under Wes Wilson Jr., which was you saw moments where it's just like, oh, man, I don't care, go through the motions. I get it. You don't like preseason, man, but preseason, it gets you set up. It's like spring training in baseball. Nobody likes hanging out in Florida for a month, man, but I get it. But it gets your body ready for the regular season. 82 games. You can do 5 games, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the second half was abysmal. It was hard to watch. So, it's sloppy basketball. Shook Biz also said, I helped a few people at work. We were up by 3. I come back, we're down 30. I'm telling you, man, it went from feast to famine that fast in the second half. Let's see. Dan 7 equal 84. How you doing? Says, yes, Kuzma definitely looks like he's not locked in. He better get locked in, man, because like I said, he wants to be here. He has to be that guy. If he doesn't, help us help you. type of situation. Let's see. Shook Biz one also said, it's me. It's Shook Biz. My God, man. My God. Dan 7, Ico 84 also said, I like Alex and Bub, but Keyshawn may be a steal. Absolutely. He is a steal in the later stages of the first round, man. And Bub and Alex are going to be good, man. He also said we could trade Kuz for Kuminga or even Jarris Walker. I covered Jarris Walker not too long ago, I believe 2-3 weeks ago. I see them hesitant moving him, even though they're not really giving him any kind of minutes. Now, Kuminga is intrigued to Golden State. It depends on what they're trying to do with Steph Curry out there. Do they have one more run left in them? I think long term, you're probably going to see Steph Curry go home and play for the Hornets at some point. And you could see, I'm speculating. I haven't heard anything, and I'm not betting on anything. But if it was me, if I was Charlotte and if I was Golden State, Steph Curry, I don't see them winning a championship. And later stages of his career, maybe go back home to Charlotte. Maybe you do a swap between him and LaMelo. Because to me, LaMelo, if you look at Charlotte, it's more and more looking like Brandon Miller and to a certain degree, John Salone are going to be those emerging players in Charlotte, man. And they got like I said, that would be a move that I would make. Honestly, I would move LaMelo to Golden State for Stephen Curry. If you're a team like the Hornets, man, you want people to come to the arena, bring Stephen Curry back home. But we're here to talk about the Wizards, y'all. But definitely intrigued me because Kuminga, man, is a defensive guy. So I'm with you on that. Let's see. Shook Biz also said, let's remember the long game. We lose, we get flack. Yeah. It ain't fun to lose, but look, like you said, next, stay on course, soldier. Absolutely. Stay on course, man, because it's all about the journey. Locked on Law, how you doing tonight? Kispert and Kuzma are terrible. Can't shoot, can't defend. Kispert has looked good over the course of the preseason. Tonight, his shot just did job look bad. Defensively, definitely want to see a lot more energy. And Kuzma, man, he's got to step it up defensive, man. He's got to step it up. And like I said, if you want to be here, I don't mind players who want to be in DC, man, but you have to put yourself in the best position to be successful. And by doing that, help the team put itself in a position to be successful. We've got to get these young guys rolling, man. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Let's see. All right, guys. So we're almost there. Like I said, I don't like missing out any kind of comments. So I'm gonna try to do a couple more. Also, love on here, man. Between Shook Biz and Locked on Law. Big fan of both y'all, man. So definitely like to see y'all chopping up in the comments section. So let's see. Let's do 2 more real quick, y'all. I know the plan is to bag for flag, but I like that. But they might set a record for fertility. I'm with you on that. That's funny. William Davis says, I think this year, if they stop the turnovers and play defense a little more, they will win. They have 2 of the best players, Poole and Big K. The 2 best players are Poole and Kuzma, but we're headed in a certain direction. And if you want to be part of the future here in DC, looking at both of them, really more so Jordan Poole, he's got to show that he can be that piece because he's, that piece. And I think, he's got to perform at point guard. And I think he will, but he's got to find consistency. We know he's got potential. He's got serious all-star potential, but all-stars are players who are consistent. They're consistent day in and day out, man. Every night playing 100, man. That's what I'm looking for. A couple more comments, man. Again, Dan 7 Eco 84. I'm feeling more like we should trust the process. Yeah, trust the process. It's gonna be a long process, but it looks ugly at times. But in the end, I think we could be a good playoff team. We are going to be a championship team at the end of all this, but it's going to be a long road. Gene Woody, what's good? Yo from B Moore. What's good, B Moore? Got my O's cap on tonight. You guys know I'm from the Commonwealth, man. But I show a lot of love to DC. That's my favorite city. But B Moore, man. B Moore is definitely a spot, man. I love me some B-more, man. I spent a lot more time over the years in B-more, man. Definitely down in the inner, but all through Baltimore, man. Love me some B-more. Lock and Losses process to draft and develop. Amen. Which means these trade bums have to go. We know what camp you're in, man. And Dan said facts. All right, it's gonna be my last one. Unrelated. Who do you root for on Sunday at M&T Bank Stadium? I'm a Commanders fan, but growing up in Virginia, like I grew up an O's fan. Now, when the Nats came in town, the reason I went Nats and kind of left the O's, and I felt bad over the years, is because Peter Angelos, the owner at the time, made a comment that there's no real baseball fans in Virginia or DC. I'm like, really? So when I was going into the military, when I was going into the Army in 05, man, or I went in November 04, I started rooting for the Nats. But 2019, man, I kind of remember going to Camden Yards as a kid. So I took my son to 2019, the O's and Oakland Athletics, man. So I root for now. I don't root for Ravens. Now, if they play each other, matter of fact, this year I went to the Raiders and Ravens game where Devontae Adams put some work on the Ravens, man. But I'm a Commanders fan, but I do show some love to the B more, man. The Ravens and the O's, man. So let's see, Gene. What else? Next year they will make a big leap, my friend. Absolutely, absolutely, man. If we talk about them O's, man, we need some pitching, man, and we need a bat. Right now they're talking about Pete Alonso. So, like I said, let's focus on the Wizards, man. But I think we can definitely sit here and talk about some baseball too. All right, guys. Let's see. Oh my God, Dan said VA all day 757. We in here, man. Look, before we roll, my oldest daughter is from or currently lives in Hampton, man. So, like I said, my first wife is from Newport News, and so I got family in Norfolk, man. So any Scots down there in Norfolk and that area down in the Tidewater, man, we're definitely fam because remember many times growing up in Norfolk or going down there in the summers in Norfolk, man. So 757, man. 757. Definitely shout out to y'all, man. Let's see. Last night or last. Oh, my bad. Let's see. A couple more comments. Hit the like, y'all. Yeah, got you. Locked on Law says Peter Angelos. Yeah, I'm so glad they got a new owner, just like the Commanders. Peter Angelos was such a bum, man. I'm so glad the O's had new, man. Spend some money, guys. Come on now. Let's go get some pitching. Let's go get a Pete Alonso at first base, man. Stop it. Let's get him. Dan says love. Yeah, much love for y'all down there, man. Like I said, a lot of you, I know a lot of you guys spend the money and take the trip, come up here and root for the Wizards, man. So like I said, much love in VA. I'm a VA guy, raised in VA, born in Georgia, but I am a VA guy. So and this is gonna be the last one, guys, because we're about the 41-minute mark. Thanks for the information, my friend, on the Wiz. Anytime, guys. Like I said, definitely love what I do, guys. Definitely love what I do. I'm excited to be here for the long term. And like I said, I'm working on it with co-hosts. I appreciate you guys rocking with me solo. Like I said, all these, couple of years with Ed, magical, man. Best backcourt in the DMV, man. But like I said, we're looking for the new form of the new backcourt here on Locked On Wizards. But appreciate you guys taking the time to rock with your boy, man, each and every night, man. So let's see a couple more comments, man, because I got love y'all. Gene Woody also said big year for those. Yeah, I think so too. And Dan says family trip to Wizards game soonest. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, Should got me on the last. See, I'm trying to, man, y'all keep me engaged, man. See, B Scott, a Georgia guy, would never saw that one. Well, I mean, it's crazy. I'm gonna kind of hit this real quick before I leave, man. My daddy, I'm a U.S. Army veteran, but my dad is too. My dad went to AIT, which is like the school for your specialized job in the military. And he was stationed in AIT at Fort Gordon, which is now Fort Eisenhower. So, I'm an Army brat, so I was born there, but I didn't spend much time. I was born right in Augusta, Georgia. Shout out to Lawrence Fishburne and James Brown, man. That's what. But Augusta, man, I was born right on the border of South Carolina, so I wasn't there long. Virginia's my home, man. But like I said, growing up, I've always loved me some DC, man. I love everything about DC. So all right, man. Oh, some love, man. Let's see. Let's link. I co-host with you, Brandon. Hey, man, we might talk about. Let's see. Definitely some love, man. Couple more comments. I appreciate the love. You don't need a co-host. Slow on your roll. I appreciate you, man. Like I said, I appreciate you rocking with me, man. I definitely appreciate it. And Dan says definitely doing a good job, Brandon. Keep it up. Appreciate you. So, all right, guys, we're gonna call it a night. I will see you guys. We have a special guest, Abdullah from the DMV Sports Zone, man. So he's gonna be back on the show. We're gonna talk about some Jonas Valanciunas, and we're gonna look forward to the season a little bit. And I'm gonna chop it up, my boy Abdullah. See, we're gonna go over some predictions for the season. So definitely catch us tomorrow night, guys. And the last preseason game is on Friday, so you guys know we're gonna go live and do like we always do. So again, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate the love. You guys enjoy your night, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Hail to the Wizards and peace.